Well, good evening. Today is November, what's today? The 16th. Um, I want to give a little update because it's been over a month now since I had my surgery. So I'm going to give you an update on that. I'm just quick adjusting my camera. Give you an update on what's been happening with my after my surgery. Since now it's a month after. And then just some other updates I want to give you as far as what's happening this week and everything, especially in Las Vegas. This week yesterday started the kickoff for Las Vegas Trans Pride. So to everybody in Las Vegas, happy Trans Pride. Last night we had the Trans Heart Circle during the day. At the drop-in center at the Transcending the Gender Box, and then in the evening we had the opening ceremony. So thank you, AJ, for leading the opening ceremony last night, because normally her spouse, Holly Reese, does the opening ceremony, but she had some meetings to attend elsewhere, and so she gifted us with her spouse to do the opening ceremony. And everybody gave positive feedbacks for it. They said AJ rocked it. So now we know if Holly can't make the opening ceremonies, we have AJ for the backup. So thank you, AJ, for being willing to do that too, for stepping in and helping us out for Trans Pride. We certainly appreciate that. That's one thing I think that means a lot for a few people to have that opening ceremony, especially having the drum circle and with the smudging that we do each year, and doing the prayer ties. It's become so symbolic now for us to do that for our opening ceremony. And so, as long as people show up for it and are enjoying it, we will keep that venue going as long as people are supporting it. It's been a positive thing for Las Vegas Trans Pride to have that, and that was actually Holly Reese's birth that she gave to Trans Pride. It was that the Mandela and the prayer ties during our event to have people be able to do that. So thank you, Holly and Holly, for making that possible for our event and making it a part of our event each year. It just means a lot. Everybody appreciates having that in the event. So this is a month after surgery. Actually, a month and the 16th, so a month and 12 days. So healing's going pretty good, I guess accordingly, I should say, because everybody heals differently. I still have two little, and it's closing up now a little bit on the perineum. I had two sutures that opened up, and at first they were like a quarter size, but now they're down to maybe about a dime size on each side. So I have those that are still healing in the process, and still a little tender, a little sore, So you get down below too. So, but it's healing and it's getting better. I move around a lot better than, of course, when I first came out of the hospital and everything. One thing that I like to share too, because people don't think is the aftercare of the surgery. There's expenses. You know what? I should get my kit, and I can tell you what I have, and you got stuff like the lubrication, the jelly that you have to put on the dilators. And just in case anybody doesn't know. After you have surgery, one of the things with Toby Meltzer, they give you a set of dilators, and this is a dilator I'm using now. So you get 4 of these, and I think this is like a glass substance. feels like glass and sounds like glass if you were to tap them together. So there's like 4 of them. You start with the number 1 for like 2 weeks, and then you go to number 2, and the one I'm doing now is a number 3. So this was the number 1, and they're all the diameter, which is and then this is a number 3. So they vary on thickness. The last one you go up to is a number 4, and that's optional if you want to do number 4 on the dilators. So that's pretty thick compared to when you start with the number 1. And I don't know if you can tell from this angle, the circumference, but this is the biggest one. This was the small. This is a number 3 right there, right? Yeah, this is number 3. The number 1, the first one, is the smallest one, of course, diameter-wise, and so you gradually build up to number 4. And at first, the first month, because I started on October 10th is the first day that I started dilating. So I had to dilate from October 10th to November 10th, that first month. I had to dilate 4 times a day. It was like 9 o'clock, 1 o'clock, 5 o'clock, and 10 o'clock in the evening. And so that was pretty rigorous, it seemed like every time you start getting settled down, it was time to dilate again. So now, after November 10th, I'm down to 2 times a day. So I do it in the morning when I get up and then before I go to bed. So that's a lot easier. I have most of the day. And then I'll be out, I'm doing 2 times a day for a while now, I think until like almost 6 months, and then I go down to just 1 time a day. And then eventually it goes down even gradual than that. So that's where I'm at right now, down to 2 times a day with my dilation. My pain, not much pain at all, just more so is tender when you touch the vagina area. Still some tenderness, some soreness, which is to be expected, so you have a lot of stitches still. Not all the stitches have come out yet. I still have, you can see some sutures still in there. So, but everything's healing nicely from, because I will talk to the nurse from Toby Meltzer's office, Dr. Meltzer's, and then I also, especially now while I got the 2 open wounds, I do send pictures to them so they can see how it is healing. So that way they can diagnose it from a distance. I am so grateful that I had the surgery done, and it's getting now too, since a lot of the pain has gone away. Dilating is getting more pleasurable. It doesn't hurt to dilate or anything. So, in fact, getting some sensation back and everything. So it's feeling really, really good, and I'm happy with the results so far. I can't complain. I'm still gonna go. I have it scheduled where I go back in March and have the labiaplasty done, which that's only like a day in and day out. It's not as invasive as this was. One thing I did notice too after surgery was my energy level has not been the same, and I contribute a lot of that is due to the hormone levels and everything, because you figure testosterone gives you a lot of energy, and so when you take away all that testosterone, well, your body has to readjust. So that takes time. One of the things I have to do soon is I need to go check and see how my hormone levels are at, see how they look, since I'm not getting any testosterone now, and before I had surgery, I was taking 6 milligrams of estrogen, and now I'm only taking 2 milligrams a day of estrogen. And so I have to see how that looks. Is it working for my body? Is my hormone levels where they should be, or anything like that? I don't other than maybe being tired or a little lack of energy right now, I don't feel bad. So, what else? Let's see. Oh, expenses. So let me quick go get something. I'll be right back. I want to show you some of the stuff that I have that I use for my dilation stuff that I use in my whole process now of caring for myself. So hang on just 1 second. I will be right back. I'm going to pause the video for a second. How do I pause this thing? You know, I don't know. Oh yes, right on the side here. Let me hit pause. I'll be right back. Okay, so I went and got, I call this my, let's see, where's my camera? It's hard when you hold stuff up like this to the camera. This is my toolkit, my box that I use. It's got all of my stuff in for dilating and stuff like that, and I'll go through the stuff here for dilating and whatever I need it for. So the first thing I ordered, and let me tell you, I'm getting most of my stuff on Amazon, believe it or not, because if you order in bulk, you can order bulk quantities, and it's a lot cheaper than running to the store each time and buying individually all the time. So I'm ordering from Amazon and getting most of the stuff in bulk. If you, and see, this is good information that we should share with each other, because if you know of any other places that where you can get a lot of stuff cheaper, share that information, you know, because it's all about at the aftercare, there's cost there. So the first thing I got was these pads that you lay like in the hospital, you put underneath yourself. So I put it on my bed. This is like it's a long rectangle pad. So I use it so, you know, because you're using the lubricant and stuff on the dilators, and so you don't want to get all that stuff on your bed. So, you know, I try to be sanitary, so I lay this underneath, you know, so I can sit on. And I have, of course, all these surgical gloves that I got. I ordered this in I ordered this in cases. So like, is it 6 box comes to a case, and there's, I don't know, like 100 and something gloves in each box. So this will last me a while. So I put them in a baggie and put it in this box. So I'll take them out of the boxes and stuff as many as I can in here. So surgical gloves. I use that so I can, you know, put the jelly in my hand and then to put it onto the dilator, you know. So of course you will need your KY or your lubricant. This is stuff that Toby Meltzer gives while you're in the hospital there recovering. Easy lubricating jelly. And so I found it on Amazon too. It's really pretty inexpensive. And I buy this. I buy, how many did I buy? 12, I think. 12 tubes. You know, because that's how it comes on a quantity discount. And so of course, you know, you put this up on here, and then I take my, you know, I'll squirt it straight down in the line. And then this is why I put the gloves on, because then I take it and I make sure it covers around the dilator. So you'll need lubricant. Of course, I use hand sanitizer because before I start touching anything, I like to keep my hands sanitized and clean, because it's all about cleanliness. This is about hygiene, girls. So we got to think about our hygiene. You know, last thing you want is anything that can give you a urinary tract infection or something. You don't need some kind of infection. So also another thing, you know, girls have told me they use a lot of wipes. I have ordered bulk wipes, which also I get on Amazon. And then so I got one of those hard containers that I put it in. So I buy this package of 160 wipes by Cottonelle, is it, or whatever. And then I break it down and put it in here. So I got my surgical gloves. Oh, um, bacitracin. It's an ointment, a healing ointment for minor cuts, scrapes. This is what they use also after your surgery. So I have to use this right now until my wounds heal up. So I just ordered a whole case of this too again. Well, no, I ordered for, let's see, I think it was 6 tubes of this. So it doesn't hurt to always have excess of this stuff too, because in case of an emergency, you always have it on hand. This stuff won't, doesn't hurt to have this on hand. So this you use on the scarring, after the surgery. Of course, you have scars, so you put this on the scar. It helps heal the scars and any open flesh that you have. So you're going to need some of this after. Bacitracin, if you can see that there. Okay, BACITRACIN. You'll want this for after surgery. And of course you have your mirror. So you can see how recovery is going underneath on your, especially on the perineum. I can't just look down and see without the mirror. So and in the beginning, you'll want the mirror to help guide the dilator into yourself. Now, you do it after a while, you just get it right in there. You don't need the mirror for that. But I do need it so when I'm putting on the medicine to make sure I cover up my my open spots right now, to cover up the flesh. So so that's about it. Let's see, any other costs that I can think. I think that's about the cost. So surgical gloves, lubricant. Oh, these here. I ordered these because, okay, so I told you about the 2 wounds that I have, or the open flesh that I have on my perineum. So these are little gauze pads. They're like 2x2s. So what I do, because it really hurt, especially in the beginning, when you would pass by that to put the dilator in, because it kept irritating it. So what I would do is I took the bacitracin, the little ointment, and put it on each side of this, and then I butterflied effect and covered up the perineum with the 2 gauze pads. I'm not opening these because I want to keep them in their packages because they're sterile. So then I placed this over that, and then that way the dilator didn't touch the open flesh. So so if you have something like that, an open flesh, or where there's open spots, flesh on your after surgery, you're going to want to get this and cover it up. So especially if it's going to affect, it's going to hurt with the dilator. So because it really stung, like it was almost like as if I was dilating with shards of glass. So it was very unpleasant. So this helped by having these and be able to cover it up, and by putting on the ointment and stuff like that. So so that's another thing. Some gauze pads, wipes, surgical gloves, and your what do you call it? These bed pads, to put underneath yourself so you don't get your bed all messed up, or wherever you're dilating, whether it be a sofa, couch, furniture, and of course your ointment and your hand sanitizer. And so Dr. Meltzer also gives you these mirrors. So that's part of it. He gives you a goodie package too. So they will give you a set of the dilators and everything too, if you have surgery with Dr. Meltzer. I don't know about what the other physicians, what they do or don't give a person, but Dr. Meltzer really gives you quite a bit to get you started and to make sure that you have what necessity when you leave the hospital for your dilation. So of course, dilation is a lifetime commitment. We always need to dilate, but as time goes on, we don't need to dilate as much. like that. Eventually it goes down to a week, and it could be, the may get down periodically, like even if it gets down to once a month. I don't know if that, I don't know. If it gets down to once a month, you want to check yourself to make sure you're not losing your depth of the vagina. That's what it's all about, is we don't want to lose the depth that we have in the vagina that they gave us. So that's why it's important for us to dilate, because you don't want it to close up on you or anything. There could be, it can cause problems if you start losing the depth of your vagina. So that is that. It helped because my husband was here for 6 weeks recovery. He just left this weekend. He went back to Las Vegas because he had to go back to work driving the school bus. So you definitely want, and especially because I came back after I got discharged from the hospital, I came back and I had to attend classes and everything on campus. So if you're really trying to get back into the full swing of things, you really want to make sure you have a companion that can help you out with carrying stuff, lifting things, and because you really, after going through this type of surgery, last thing you want is any complications. So you need to take care of yourself and to pamper yourself for a little bit. After all, even though you may not pay out of pocket for the surgery, it's costly, and it's you don't want to have to go back and do revisions and stuff. So you might as well really take care of yourself now too. So that's it on that part. So that's some of the stuff that's happening with me with the aftercare. So I just want to update you how that was going. You're gonna have your ups and downs after surgery. There's gonna be days where, in the beginning, I make good days and bad days where I really was hurting, and then days where it didn't bother me as much. But so now, after a month now, a little over a month, I don't have as much pain. I'm actually out starting to walk now, trying to get, do at least a mile walk or something for the day. In fact, I have to go out tonight and try to get a walk in. So that'll be one thing I do. So I want to try to get back to where hopefully I can start running again and everything. Get back into shape a little bit. I got too much fat on me that I want to lose. So, and then I hope pretty soon, maybe I might make it to after I come back, because I'm leaving here to go back home in the middle of December. I won't be able to ride my bike, I don't think, by then. So I'm hoping that maybe once I come back for the spring semester here back to San Francisco in February, that I could be riding my bike and everything too, back to doing that again. I'm gonna have to get reacquainted with it. And because it's a heavy piece of equipment, my motorcycle. So Honda Goldwings are heavy, but so I just gotta get used to it again and reacclimated to it. What else? I think that's it. All I have for updates. I know this year has been tough on the political system in our political realm, and so I hope everybody stays safe. Keep an eye over your shoulder. We'll make it through. We'll make it through this. We are survivors, so don't get too discouraged. Lean on your friends. Lean on your whoever you have around you. Make sure you have yourself surrounded with a good circle of people, that if you need somebody to listen to, you have somebody. But we will make it through this. Just don't give up hope. Let's put our voices together. And if this is a time where we should really be in community with each other, the time is now. And we need to be in community not just with just ourselves, the trans community, but we need to be in community with everybody that is on the margins. You know, so let's work together. Let's try to work collaboratively with everybody that we can think of, because we can't do this fight separately. We need everybody to bring all voices together, from people of color, you know, the LGB part of the community. Let's not leave anybody behind. In whatever we're doing, whatever fights, we need to stand together as, in just within our country right now, we need to stand together as Americans, united and not divided. So let's learn how to work together, and let's try to reach into more than just our own little circle, the trans circle, but because we need each other. We need more than each other. We need to make progress back again. So we'll have to wait and see what happens with what progress we have made, how that will come into play. But let's lean on each other. You know, don't be afraid to ask for help if you're having problems, or if you don't feel safe going someplace, you know, make sure you have somebody that goes with you. You know, it's better safe than sorry. So I don't want to get too political tonight, because this has been a terrible, terrible political season, and I think we're all worn out. There's been hateful stuff said on both sides, so let's just, I don't want to get really political at all, and I don't want to dwell on it a lot, but let's be safe, be careful. Love you guys, and I will talk to you later. Oh, if you're in Vegas, don't forget, tonight we're actually at 7 o'clock, which is, I don't know what time it is now. We have the Trans Pride March, which will be starting, let me run down the venue. Okay, so it's 4:49. So if you haven't made it yet, tonight at 7 o'clock at Transcending Gender Box, we start our Trans Pride March, which will be leaving and walking down Sahara to Las Vegas Boulevard. It's an out and back course this year, and then back to the Transcending Gender Box. So that starts at 7 p.m. sharp, so make sure you're there, be there on time. Then tomorrow is the Day of Awareness. We'll have the wall set up throughout the day. The TDOR wall, that's a tongue twister. The TDOR wall will be set up throughout the day, the Transgender Day of Remembrance wall, which shows the victims of the hate crime since 1970. That will be on display throughout the day, all day. And then at 7, so that, and the drop-in, of course, opens at 10 o'clock. So that'll be available from 10 until, you know, it'll just set up all day. And then at 7 p.m., or no, 6:30 p.m., sorry about that, 6:30 p.m. tomorrow night is our Trans Expansive Town Hall meeting. So I would encourage that you go be a part of dialogue. You know, more than ever now, do we need to build our community? So I would encourage, and I hope that's a good part of the conversation tomorrow, of trying to work together through our differences as a community, so our voices can work collaboratively. Let's see, and that's tomorrow is what, Thursday? God, this year is just flying by. And then, so Friday, we will have a social gathering, which is going to be at Flex Cocktail Lounge, which is off of like Arville and Charleston. And that will start at 8 p.m. And then Saturday morning is at 11 o'clock is the vendor fair from 11 until 5 p.m. And then that will have the vendor fair and the workshops. We have 3 wonderful workshops which will be presented this year. And we have some good vendors that will be there for the, anybody to go get some resources from, and there'll be some merchandise that you can buy also at the vendor fair. So check that out on Saturday morning from 11 till 5. And remember, this is all free. You know, it doesn't cost you anything to go to Las Vegas Trans Pride. Saturday night, however, beginning at 7 p.m. Yes, 7 p.m. At the center. We have our entertainment night with Bobby and friends, and we'll also be recognizing organizations and some individuals that have impacted trans lives here in Las Vegas. So that's Saturday night. Ooh, excuse me, at 7 o'clock. And there is a $10 suggested donation that we are asking that, because that helps us with the operational cost of this event, and then also now with our drop-in, the Transcendent Gender Box. You know, we have to make that sustainable for us, for our community, that we have a place, a safe place to always gather, and to that has programming for us. So you know, by attending that event and then paying that donation helps to offset some of the costs that we have. Also, you can buy a t-shirt for $10. And that also helps offset the cost. So that's the only 2 things that cost for Trans Pride, is Saturday night's entertainment and the t-shirts. So I mean, the rest of the week, all these events are free. Sunday we have in the morning, beginning at 10:30, is our trans worship service. So there'll be coffee and donuts, a little social gathering, and then at 11 o'clock is our trans worship service. And I believe Rachel Parker, who is a lay minister for Mary Magdalene Friends, will be leading the worship service. And it's for this here service, it's going to be more an interfaith service. So it's not just a Christian service, it's interfaith, trying to be inclusive to all the religious beliefs that we have in our community. So we'd love to see you there, be a part of it. And then at 3 p.m. on Sunday is and that'll be the last event for this year, for this week, is the Transgender Day of Remembrance Vigil, and that's going to be held at the LV Space, or the Space LV, off of like Dean Martin and almost by Harmon Avenue. So look on the website, it'll give you the address. I encourage you to, on our website, to look at on the page, it's the event schedule page. So if you were to click on the menu and you see, I think it says workshop schedule, click on that and you will it will come up the whole week of what we've had for the week here, and you click each little line and it will give you more details about everything going on. So if you were to click for Friday night, the trans social gathering, click on that line and it will tell you where it's at, what time it starts, and all that. So same with Saturday and Sunday, it'll tell you what time the workshops start and everything, what time the vendor fairs till, what time the show starts. Sunday will also tell you the address, place, the address and time of the event for the TDR vigil. So that's it, really. That's all I have for you tonight. And so stay safe. And I will talk to you soon. Thank you. Bye.